And we're really blessed right now to have Elder Mark Sioux from the Mississauga First Nation, who is going to be sharing some of his herbal wisdom, traditional plant knowledge, and hopefully touch on this concept of the commons and commoning and what that really means and what it means for us to be here on other people's land from this perspective of a non-privatization, a non-ownership orientation as a place to start. And that I'm hoping we're open to hearing some things that might be outside of our normal way of thinking about how things work and our interrelations to each other. So Mark, if you'd like to come forward and begin. So thank you again, Elder Mark Sioux. Yeah, one of your
It's probably Gary. No, my Anishinaabe name is Migizi Gikinoo'amaagewinini, which is an Eagle teacher man. And I didn't know we were going to talk politics today, but this is our territory from Mississaugas, the New Credit, and I'm glad to be here. And I welcome everyone I see. Last time I came, I was talking about more medicines and plants, and I'm going to be sharing some of the medicines I just harvested the other day, and I have tea that I'm going to share with you. Some people use these as medicine. I use these particular ones just for a tea. They're all cleansing. I'll tell you a bit about it. And my wife Sault here will hopefully help me and serve you some of the tea. I was going to be preparing while you were speaking, but you got too interesting talking about all the things that we should be doing. And this is why I'm sharing some of these things, because our elders have been saying we have to get back to the land, we have to get back, because of all the poisons that are being put on our food everywhere. Like even someplace where I pick this medicine, I have farms in my neighborhood. They have cow corn and beans everywhere, and the fertilization stuff they put on is probably, you know, spreading. But a lot of this stuff I just went and picked off my lawn this morning. I'm going to share some. I mean, everyone should know this one, but I put them in these little bags so everybody can see what they are. Because usually when I'm standing way up here, you can't see. And this one is plantain. And these are the things people kill on their yards. Yeah, they can be used for salads, medicines, salves. There's so many different things that different people use them for. I might use them to eat. Some people use them for salves or teas. But like I say, every plant on your lawn probably has some use. And this one everyone knows and probably hates this plant. It's dandelion. It's everywhere. But it's one of the best medicinal plants. It's good in salads. And now they're announcing more and more about how the dandelion root itself is one of the best cancer cures going now. I had dandelion root, I didn't bring it, but it's all, you have to dry it and peel it, and you can make tea. They usually make tea out of it. You can actually buy dandelion root tea, and a lot of people do drink it. I don't like it, but it's good for cancer. This is the one I've been using the most, not the birch bark, although you can use birch bark for. This is a wild pincherry bark. Okay, this is one of the medicines my father-in-law showed me years ago. It's good for chest congestion, sore throat, and it's everywhere. Pincherry bark, you just peel it off, boil it up in water, let it steep for a while, make a tea. And sometimes I'll add tamarack twigs with it, gives it a little more kick. And when I...
The green?
Pardon?
The green tamarack sprouts?
Yeah, the end, yeah. And when I want to take it up another notch, I'll put in some weekend. Well, down here, it's English, it's sweet flag they call it, or rat root. You just grind it up and I add it to that medicine as well. And because weekend alone, if you just suck on it, chew on it, suck the juice, it'll open up your lungs. And a lot of the drummers and singers at powwows, they use that when they get a sore throat from singing. They'll take a piece of wheat and suck on that for a while. And that's all. I mean, you gotta learn what it looks like and how to harvest it and when to harvest it. Okay. Okay. Before I go on to the teas, just mention the 4 sacred medicines we use. Not so much for tea, but for when we pray and smudge. Okay, I have a couple of different kinds of sage here, and they actually use sage. This is one of the ones for we use that mostly for smudging. Okay, but they do use that for cooking as well. And this one is our most sacred medicine. It's tobacco, traditional tobacco. I grow my own tobacco, just not for smoking. Well, I do smoke it when I use it in my pipe, but it's a sacred pipe. We don't inhale it. And this other little one in this white cup, when she comes around, this is one of our first tobaccos. Kinnikinnick, it's called. It's actually the inside bark on red willow. You just cut it up, grind it up, and use that. It's pretty rough when you try and smoke it alone once, even when you don't inhale. I don't know, has anybody seen these or heard these things?
Sweetgrass.
Yeah, sweetgrass. So we call hair of Mother Earth. And this is just another medicine, one of our 4 sacred medicines for smudging. And our 4 sacred medicine, the cedar. Okay, it's the same. We use this for smudging as well. And also, this is one of the things, I'm making cedar tea. That's what's in one of these pots right here. So you get the sample cedar tea, they're full of vitamin C. It's very good for you, cedar tea. And I just want to find something on there. So I'm going to give you an example of the different things they use the cedar tea for. White cedar. Cedar bath. You just take some of the limbs from the cedar tree, you put it in your bath. Or some people will boil it first in a pot and then dump it in your bathtub. And it's very soothing and cleansing, the cedar tea. It's good for chest congestion, colds, fevers. They use it. There's actually cedar oil. You can boil the cedar oil out of it. They use it for moisturizer. And you know the shingles disease, they use it on there as well. And well, like I mentioned, smudging is one of the ones that most people use that for in day-to-day. Smudging and cleansing of their houses and things. And the other thing, when you see, you can probably tell when you go into some of these little traditional, they will have cedar hanging over their doorways for protection. Okay. Okay, in the big pot there, I have the cedar tea. I want to see if anybody wants some of the cedar tea. That way they can keep their cup. Then I'll talk about the other pot. The other pot I have Labrador tea. Okay, that's the name of the plant, Labrador tea. Okay, I'm going to pass this around. I just picked this the other day as well. This Labrador tea up there. And you see how big some of those leaves are. I used to always harvest my Labrador tea up Thunder Bay area because you go off the road up there, it's everywhere in the bush. I haven't seen it around here, but I have never really had to look for it around here because I only relocated this area a couple of years ago although I was born and raised here and worked here before I moved to Thunder Bay. But yeah, the Labrador tea, it's very good as well. It's full of vitamin C. I mean, I was just using this stuff, making it because I liked it and my staff liked it in Thunder Bay. And I had an office next to the NDP office there in Thunder Bay. And the ladies next door who worked in the office, they wanted some tea. And I didn't know about They always say, oh, it gives me a pickup in the afternoon. So they want tea in the afternoon, but it gives you a little lift, this Labrador tea as well, when you have it. It's also good for diabetes, bringing down your diabetes level, migraine headaches, nervousness, vomiting. That's just a couple of the things. If you did a little more research, I have other things. I mean, there's a list yay long that different people use these things for. Anybody want to have a look at this before I want to read this? I'm not going to read the whole thing. This. Okay, the other thing I have mixed, I like to mix with my Labrador tea is called wintergreen. And I don't know if anybody has ever been in the bush to see these things, the wintergreen.
Sure.
But when I was a kid, this was my candy. I would go to the bush, get a pocket full. I would take it and put in my pocket. And it tastes like gum. All right, you're gonna have one. Don't just take a picture. Here, pass them. What? No, those are just fresh too. I just picked those the other day as well. So I'll do. When I make my tea, sometimes I'll dry it off and I'll put it in a blender, and that way it steeps a lot quicker. But it's fine. I'm using mostly fresh stuff for these teas. And the other thing I put in that tea, I call it my special blend, Labrador tea, the wintergreen, and some wild mint, which did I put in there? But when you use wild mint, you can only I'll use maybe a couple little stems off of here because it'll take over the whole flavor. And so, and when you're harvesting wild mint, there's a lot that looks like wild mint, but unless you can pick it up and smell it or bite it, it might not be wild mint. So you got to be careful. Like, see, I could talk about these and show you pictures all day and even show you this, but until you actually get out there and pick them, you know, it could be dangerous because there's a lot of plants that look the same. But I mean, they all have their own unique thing, like the wintergreen. It's waxy on one side looking, and it's actually very good. People are scared to chew it, but I mean, you chew it and you swallow this one. But I gotta check. Okay, I was going to make a third tea, but I didn't know how many people were going to be here, so I'm glad I held off because that's a lot of tea in those pots. But this plant is usually green, and it usually has a little bud thing on the top. Anybody ever heard of, you know this?
Horsetail?
Yeah, horsetail they call it. Well, it's called scouring rush. I just started using this summer too, or spring I guess, when my sister asked me if I would go and pick her some scouring rush. I had no idea what she was talking about until she sent me a picture. But yeah, it's called horsetail, and it's good for the joints, your bones, your teeth, your nails, and they say that because of the joint here. Okay, you can just dry it up, or you can use it green, make your tea, and drink it. I mean, most medicines that we do use, they are just a tea. Okay, you just mix them up. Now, this one, I just started using this. I actually heard about this a couple months ago, but this is really, you know what it is? I seen you say it. Chaga, yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of hard to find. It grows on birch trees. And I just knocked this chunk off the other day, and it was way up in the tree, and I had to kind of make a ladder out of other trees to get up there. I only had a tire iron to get it down. What we do we clean it up. I was going to make this too, but this takes about 5-6 hours to make the tea with that one. You got to let it steep and set. But that one is also used for cancer, diabetes. It's supposedly one of the best antibiotic medicines going. Okay? And I've heard it's very expensive when you buy it. Okay? But see, we grind up the black and the inside to make the tea. But they also, I seen this years ago up in Fort Francis, one of the elders was talking about the inside. They use it to start fire. They take a chunk, put a couple sparks in, and it will start burning, and it'll hold the ember for quite a while. Then they just put it in the fire. Now let's just see how hard that outside. This one's not as bad as the first one I got. It was a big, just to get the outside layer off. It's like hard as rock. And I use a rasp actually to make the tea powder, and then I just boil up the water and let her go. Gee, I think I'm all out of stuff except my maple syrup I was going to offer. See, this is all just from the trees around the house and stuff. We tap the trees, make our own maple syrup. Or maple sugar here. This is what I was going to offer you to add to your tea if you wanted to take it up a notch. But this one should be ready too if anybody's tried this is the one that most people like as the Labrador tea. I had lists and lists of different plants just around the house. Like the goldenrod, the thistle, you know, there's so many different plants that you can use as medicine or just to make tea. But unless you go out there and do it, like you're saying, we got to get back to doing what we do. And I was really glad when Michael was talking about he was just getting me pumped there to go to BC or down in the States there, because he's right. We have to make a stand. You know, it's just a sad thing that the corporate world is doing all over money, the oil, gas. It's, you know, there's no end that they won't do it. Did you want try some maple syrup in there? No? Okay. Okay, I don't want to finish boring you, but does anybody have any questions? I don't know what more, I mean, I have a lot more information, but I didn't bring a lot of the plants that we use. Like even the blueberries and cranberries, those are medicinal as well. I've started adding blueberry leaves and twigs to some of my medicine that's good cancer fighting as well. I mean myself, I'm a cancer survivor, but I wish I had known about these things before I got cancer, because they are cancer preventers, you know. The chaga, the dandelion root tea, and things like that. So it's the stuff we have to learn, stuff we have to do. One of the things that people just don't have the patience to do it, like when I do my corn. This is the Indian white corn, okay? And to cook that, you couldn't cook it just in water or soaking it. This we have to lye it. I make lye from the hardwood ashes. I shake it, and the white stuff coming down, that's lye. Okay, it's very acidy. And I boil it with the corn for about an hour, and it eats this husk off the skin. And then I wash the ashes off, and you got to cook it again for another hour to 2 hours till the corn starts popping like popcorn. Then I'll stop, wash it again, and then I'll turn it into soup. Then I'll add my meat and beans or whatever else I'm going to add. But you know, this lye they used to use, that's what they used to use in residential schools. When the kids would come in, they'd shave their head and wash their hair with that lye. You know, it's real burn. So from start to finish, it's very unique. So don't have to be.
Wow, it's a beautiful basket.
But I think I'm all out of resources here.